Well, hello everybody. I am the Orca Theory. Welcome back to Dark Souls 3. So, for this episode, I wanted to start it off up here, so I went ahead and just jumped up to this spot. We still haven't gotten the ladder shortcut yet because I need 20,000 or 10,000 souls, whatever the hell it is. But I did want to drop this off. This is one of those pumperums. Yay! What is that animation? No, it's just a helmeted guy kind of laying down. And I get the Armor of the Sun, which is our good friend Sunbro from Dark Souls 1. Chainmail armor and white coat featuring a large rendition of the holy symbol of the sun, the choice attire of a singular knight of sunlight from a previous age. The symbol was painted by the knight himself, but the armor never bore any special power, sacred or otherwise. Kind of a nice nod to just the bullshit that came out of everything with Solaire back in the day. Everybody was speculating about Solaire's place in the overall Dark Souls universe, whether or not he was just some big badass, whether or not he was Gwyn's firstborn. This game does a lot to break down the illusion of Solaire of Astora. The poor guy, still an incredible NPC from Dark Souls 1. And this is kind of a fun way to still pay homage to him. This actually gives me a better weight ratio, so I think how does it look? Oh god, that's terrible. Oh, the fashion. What else do I have? I have the Northern Helm, which does also... I could just do this. Oh yeah. Actually, that's not terrible. That's really bad. Let's do that, and then can we change out the trousers? That's actually okay. The padded legs there. Oh, that's bad. Cleric. No. Oh, Mira. Actually, I kind of like the northern trousers best with that set. And how about the gauntlets? The northern gloves. Yeah, that's a much better fit. Maybe the Mira. Actually, the Mira's alright, but the northern gloves just fits the aesthetic better. Kind of tattered. Yeah, we'll rock this for a little bit. Kind of change up the armor sets. You want to, once again, you just want to keep that weight ratio under 70. I don't know why that's in second place there. I'm just gonna fix that real quick. And I honestly, I'm gonna start needing a torch pretty soon, just to start illuminating some dark areas. So I'm just gonna go ahead and buy that now. You can see, because I handed in the Mortician's Ashes, there's a lot more here on sale, including these alluring skulls. A skull resplendent in the scent of souls, prepared by evangelists of the Cathedral of the Deep. Throw it a shatter, spreading souls which attract enemies. Weaker enemies or mob enemies like rats, some of the undead from the undead settlement, those guys, they'll be attracted by the alluring skulls. These were really handy in Dark Souls 1 for attracting many, many different enemy types. It's not as effective in this game. I really wish it was. The cool thing here is that they changed up some of the lore a bit, and these are prepared by the evangelists of the Cathedral of the Deep, those giant women that light themselves on fire to hug you. Once we get to the Cathedral of the Deep, we'll have a much wider discussion about that, but I think it's really neat that this skull is now associated with them, because if you're trying to evangelize a group of people, the best way to gather them is to just attract them with something like this, especially if they're undead. Kinda neat. These are the charcoal pine sets, and we get human pine. Human pine just adds dark to the right weapon. This was normally used in the undead settlement for preservation and burials, but can mature into this state, becoming a valuable substance. So they were using humanity to coat and keep the bodies that were being eventually thrown into the pit. So that's where I'm assuming the curse is then born into that giant tree we fought. Oh boy. So here we got the resin and the pine. The difference between the bundles and the resins is that the bundle is a little bit more like Bloodborne, where it's just a quick application for something really just case by case for a single encounter. You would want to put on the resin if you were planning on keeping fire for a while, the bundle for just a single encounter. That's why I tend to buy the bundles a little bit more. A, because they're cheaper, and B, I'm only going to want to use them for a single encounter. So I'm not going to buy any now. I am gonna need these in a bit, but not in this particular moment. Any weapons that I need? Nah, we're good.
Ashen 1.
All right, let's go to the Crucifixion Woods. Did I put on the torch? I did not put on the torch. I didn't even buy the torch. What the hell am I doing? I went in there to buy the torch, and then I ended up talking to you guys because I'm an idiot.
Ashen 1.
Fashion souls. I'd love to use this great scythe. I would love to. What are the stats requirements on the great scythe? 14 and 14. Where am I sitting with dexterity? 13. One more point. Ooh, what's the scaling though? C. Oh, I'm not planning on scaling dex. The claymore is a better bet. I would just love to use it. Alright, so we are now traveling to the Crucifixion Woods via the Road of Sacrifices. The Road of Sacrifices is our main avenue to get to the Cathedral of the Deep. Oh boy, man, I don't know what patch screwed this up, but there's been a ton of load-in problems. Like in the last episode when we were loading in just this area. Ooh boy, was that fun. So you can see kind of the two main areas. There's the high wall of Lothric where we descended from. So the Undead Settlement is about over there, over this rock wall. Over there is the Cathedral of the Deep, which we will be heading to after this. We encounter our first new enemy. The Corvians that sprout these wings. Ugh, they are gross. You can see here they sprout feathers, and we talked a little bit about Velka last episode. I am of the mind that these Corvians are followers of Velka in some way, shape, or form. How? I don't know. I'm hoping for that in the DLC. I may be right. I may be wrong. Usually I'm wrong. Screw you, man. Shriving Stone. Whoa. Thank you, physics. So the Shriving Stone... Found it. It undoes weapon infusion. So if you infuse something with a fire gem, raw gem, you can then undo that with this. Has the benefit of undoing the effects of infusion without lowering the reinforcement level. So if you have a +5 weapon and you infuse it with fire, then you use a Shriving Stone, don't need to worry about it. Not a big deal. Nothing up here. Honestly, like, even though this is an early game area and you are more likely to remember the early game areas the most, I have a lot of trouble with the Road of Sacrifices in the Crucifixion Woods. Not that they're unmemorable. I think this is actually really cool level design. It's just, I don't know, the way the paths wind, the way the trees hold back the vistas, it's incredibly tough to see things. Shortcut ahead. Yeah, right. Let's rate that poor. I will disparage this message. Just gonna top myself off because I have been taking damage. I'm gonna take these guys out first. There is a mage to the left, which you do want to be wary of. But he only spouts off poison from a distance, so you don't need to worry about him. Oop, see you later. So as long as you just stay away from the left. Oh, got nailed by that. Gotcha. Okay, now he's gone. Yeah, try below. We are gonna do that. Nice little shortcut down here. Oh, God. The Brigand Twin Daggers. Yay! Actually, a really neat weapon, and I'm glad they give it to you here, because the weapon art for the Brigand Twin Daggers is super handy for when you get to the Poison Swamp. And here's our good friend, the Butcher. Appears in basically every Souls game. I remember if she was in Bloodborne. She's in every game. She's a mad butcher. She hangs out, and we get her butcher knife. And here's the Brigand set to go with the Brigand Twin Daggers. How, you know, the Butcher's Dagger typically has good scaling. Yeah, it's got 8 scaling with strength. We may rock that at some point. I do want to bump a couple more points into strength. There's our Brigand Axe. Tough enemy ahead. We took her from the other way. Okay, so there's the bridge that will lead us down into there. You can see kind of the normal path that you would take. After you defeat that guy, you'd come back around this way, but we are gonna... Hopefully before this guy starts attacking. There we go. We're good. You can see how the area wraps in around itself. That's why it's confusing to me. So I'm kind of getting the lay of the land a little bit better over here. So you could drop down that way. You don't necessarily have to. And now this bridge can be awfully fun. Jumping. I'm not going to jump down there. Talk about an idiot move. Try down, but you can't jump down there, which we will do. Screw you guys. I'm going down here. Now, you want to be careful down here because there is a dog. And doggos, as we've discussed in many games, is problematic. Gotcha. Shit. This is where I get into a lot of problems. Got one. Knock the other down. Good. Oh, God, he's got bloatedness in him. Morn's Ring. Yay. Braille Divine Tone of Kareem. So we got 2 rings. The Morn's Ring, which boosts miracles. A malformed ring given to Knights of Kareem. Or Morn, the weird guy. Morn served the goddess Catha and later became an apostle of the Archbishop. They labored together to provide comfort to the suffering. Ooh, what a ring. We don't need miracles really, but I do want to read the Divine Tome. These tomes you give to Arena back in Firelink Shrine. A sacred braille tome, give to a storyteller, which is Arena. In the Way of White, there is a tradition of placing great faith in the words of the blind, and braille tomes are not unusual. So, in the Way of White is the religion from Dark Souls 1 of All-Father Lloyd, who I think is another guy we're going to see in the DLCs in one way, shape, or form. So you can see this brings us down across the bridge from the other way. Actually, can I? No, I can't go up there. Okay. This gives us a much better vantage point on some of these enemies. Get a backstab there. Oh, jeez. Oh, and I died. Watch your stamina, folks. Watch your stamina. And unfortunately, it looks like I've run out of time here, so I'm going to go back to this bonfire, and I'm going to bid you all a fond farewell. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm really loving playing through this game again. I haven't played through it in a long time, and I'm having a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.